Coach, last year was your first year with the team. You're kind of starting to build the program almost from scratch. What were you able to implement in that first year and then get accomplished this summer heading into the season?
I think the biggest thing in any first year that you have to implement when you come in somewhere is you evaluate where the guys have been, where you want to take them, and then the gap that it's going to take to make that happen. And we had quite a ways to go, and I think the biggest thing is I needed to make sure guys loved to play basketball. We had a lot of young men that I think they liked to play, but I'm not sure that they loved to play when I got here. And I made sure they understood very early that that's a requirement that's needed. And some of those guys did love to play, and they're still around now and want to be valuable members of our team. But I think just the passion and desire that you have to play at a high level of college basketball was really the most important thing in our culture that we had to instill. And then after that, you know, your normal values of working hard, being a great teammate, doing the right things on and off the court, just consistency in all those areas are things that I think we had to pick up on, and guys have done a great job with that since up to this point.
Now, you've brought in a new coaching staff around next to you, Coach Robert Ford, and then some graduate assistants. Can you talk about what they've brought to the program?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, my guys last year were unbelievable, Coach Taylor and Coach Davis, and they've moved on and kind of gotten closer to their families. And when you lose a good staff, you always worry, but I was lucky to find Coach Ford and the rest of my staff this year. Great guys. I think Coach Ford is really meticulous. He's detailed. He has a lot of connections for recruiting, and he's a really, really good basketball coach. And a lot of times you hear the guys being described as, well, he's a relentless recruiter, or he's great at this. Rob's very well-rounded in every area, and he's almost like a second head coach in our program.
You know, you talked about instilling that culture of hard work, and some of it's meant to be carried through with key returners from last year that were a part of that. Who do you have, returning, and what roles do you see?
Well, you know, the guys that played last year, we have a limited number coming back, and really the guys coming back are the ones who bought in 110%. They understood this is the direction I want to go. They craved winning. They craved hard work. It all starts with Nacho, senior shooter for us, Nacho Rodriguez. Unbelievable three-point shooter, great young man, very high grade point average. Nacho is from Spain. I think that he gives us something that it's a skill that in our offense is extremely important. That's he's a great three-point shooter. And he knows our system, knows how to play. And that skill of being able to make shots is something that if you leave him open, he has a very high chance to knock that thing down. He stretches the defense, and it really spaces the floor for the rest of the guys. You got a guy like Andrew Pitzer, who is really like a Swiss Army knife. He does it all. A little bit undersized at about 6 foot, 6'1". But Drew works hard as anybody on the team. I'd say he's our hardest worker. He loves to play as much as any player I've ever coached, and he will do anything you ask him to do. He'll play out of position. He'll play his own position. Anything you ask Drew to do, he'll do it. And then you got a guy, Jordan Robinson, who, a little bit like Drew Pitzer, Jordan played every position last year other than center. And he can do a little bit of everything. He's battling through an injury right now with a fractured foot. But those are three guys that really come to mind that played a lot of minutes last year that I think going into this year are going to be an integral part of what we do, and we're going to really need to rely on those guys going forward to help the new guys along, help them understand the culture that we've built, and then build on it with those new guys.
Okay, Coach, now while you had recruits last year, this incoming class is going to be the very first one you had an entire year of recruiting. What do they bring to the table, and what are you looking for from your key newcomers?
Yeah, well, I think we have 8 or 9 guys that are new that are going to be really good impact players, and their talent level on paper is really high. Really excited about them. Malik Toppin is a guy on the inside that's going to completely change the game for us. I think when you look back last year at our team, we were in the bottom 5 in every statistical category that had to do with rebounding. I believe we were last in rebound margin in the country, and we were in the bottom 5 in block shots in the country. Malik was one of the best shot blockers in the country in high school, and he's carried that on in his Division I career, and then when he was in junior college at Barton last year in Kansas. I'd say he's an elite shot blocker, a very good rebounder, he's a rim protector, and he gives us a presence around the rim defensively that we just didn't have last year. It changes the game for us. Then I think when you go down the line for Landis Penny is another big guy, long, athletic, and a similar mold to Malik that is going to help us be a rim protector, block shots, everything's a dunk around the rim, above the rim, exciting, high-level player. A little bit Jesse Pistacache and Reggie Oliver. I think they're really talented scorers, big-time shooters. If they can buy into our system, which I believe they will because they really want to, and play together, I think they'll be lights out together. I'm really, really excited about this. Another newcomer we have that I think is going to make a major, major impact in our front court is Ben Howells. And Ben averaged 14 points and 8 rebounds a game at Garden City Community College in Kansas. That's one of the top JUCO leagues in the country. Ben is a big-time versatile scorer, and he scores in a lot of variety of ways around the rim. He's a very talented passer of the basketball to be a forward. He can really put it on the floor. I think that he is going to be just a nightmare to guard because of his skill set. And I wouldn't call him an elite shooter, but even having said that, he does so many things that help you offensively, from passing, catching, making the right play, and then he can score with either hand around the rim. So I think Ben could be a double-double machine for us and really be our one of our most proficient scorers around the basket. And then, we may still add another player, but with where we're going, with what we have this year compared to where we were last year, I'm extremely happy with the trajectory of where we're moving.
Now,
We have 4 or 5 high-level shooters, and one of the young men that is a returner that I didn't mention earlier, Jarius Faro. Jarius is a sophomore this year, and he was one of our leading scorers last year. And you couple Jarius with the 3 newcomers that I spoke about on the perimeter and Nacho Rodriguez, I mean, those are outstanding shooters. All those guys have the ability to shoot over 40% from 3. And I think when you have that, it gives your team the ability to space the floor, and it makes you tough to guard. So I would say that is their strong suit. Other than that, each guy has his own individual strong things that he is strong at. But as a unit, as a group, I think those guys are some really talented scorers and shooters.